So this week, Kevin, by which I mean me, the narcissistic person who is putting his face at you right now, has been rambling on a bit like a crazy person. Doing all this walking about and pontificating and talking about random bits of pop psychology and metaphors and weird, crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense. And I think it's okay for us to acknowledge that that's a little bit weird. And I'm hesitant to talk more about it because I remember I went to college and I studied music for a long time, and I got to the point where I studied it so intensely that whenever I listened to anybody making music, all I could hear were the mistakes, that by inspecting it too deeply, the magic of it seemed to disappear. And I just realized that that makes it sound like I think that what I do is somehow a magical experience for you. It's not what I meant. It's not a good ego thing to do. I redact that. But for all that we talk about the idea of YouTube being a very personal medium, and the idea that successful YouTubers are different from other celebrities because we actually know them and get to see what they think and feel and express, it's not exactly true. Everything is a bit staged, and when these personalities drop the persona for whatever reason, it sort of rubs people the wrong way, because now they have to reconcile the person that they were dealing with before with this slightly different individual that they're experiencing now. Now, the extent to which this actually plays a factor, I think, varies from person to person. But I think it would be fair to say that every person who puts themselves out there, and speaking particularly of YouTubers, would like you to think that they know what they're doing, that they have a plan, that they made something consciously and deliberately. And I have to confess that this hasn't really been the case for me these past 2 weeks. I've been mostly just putting stuff out there and then just seeing whatever happens. I would love to tell you that I'm doing some crazy bit of performance art, just kind of pacing around my apartment and jabbering at you, and that eventually this would turn into some character and there'd be a narrative that comes into play. And that sounds like fun now, but if I were to decide to do that, it would be a post-rationalized idea, not something that I set out to do. And I'm afraid to confess to that I really have no idea what I'm doing or where this is going, or whether I'll continue making videos next week, or what sort of plan I have for the future. I am surrounded and overwhelmed by uncertainty, and it's not a very secure feeling, and it certainly isn't the type of feeling that inspires me to get up and talk to you as though I had some authority to tell you what you should be doing with your lives, or even spending this amount of your time. But I do recognize that ultimately it is your decision how you want to spend your time. So given that you're still here, I should just explain what I am doing is pretty well set out in the first video that I made 2 weeks ago, where I said that I want a second draft. There's a lot going on in my life right now, and it's stressing me out. I'd say I was having a quarter-life crisis, except that's a very, very stupid thing to say, ever. It's not a thing. But I think a big part of writing a second draft is looking at the first draft and figuring out what are the things that really bug you, what are the things that you really like, and what are the things that you can just brainstorm and play around with and see if that's something that you want to incorporate. And I think that's what I've been doing, just sort of spewing stuff out there and seeing maybe I can be this type of person, and deciding whether or not I like that. Which is to say that you are the guinea pigs for a completely selfish makeover. So, now that I have informed you of that, I am gonna just go back to being weird now.